Good evening, everybody. After the summer vacation, we're ready together with yet another regular meeting with Sirma Group Holding. This evening, we show here a little further data on the first half of the year, which will be presented by Mr. Tsvetan Alexiev and the Financial Director, Mrs. Radka Peneva. So I give the floor, so to speak, to these two directors of the company. Hello from me too. I hope that you all had a lovely summer. And we are starting with the active business season. I hope that we have recharged the batteries properly so that we may embark on new interesting things, each in his or her line of activity. The same goes for us too. Actually, this has not stopped for us at all. During the summer, we did lots of work and we accomplished a lot in line with the organization of the strategic aims achievement, and also in order to implement everything that we promised to our shareholders. In the first half of the year, the results, maybe prior to talking on the specific figures, I need to mention that for Sirma, the fourth quarter of any year has traditionally been the strongest one, and we do expect a third quarter which should also be very remarkable in terms of financial results. Still, in the first half of the year, we managed an increase in revenues of 11%, also 28% growth in investment. We distributed dividends of 1,427,000 leva, and we increased the number of our staff by 7%. I ought to mention that currently the market capitalization of Sirma Group is 63,338,000 leva. For Sirma Group, in all previous webinars, I have already covered the topic extensively about where we started from and what type of company we are. But for people who are watching us for the first time ever, we are the largest Bulgarian IT group, a public company since the end of last year in the group. We boast 14 subsidiaries. We also have business specialization along various business verticals that I am going to cover later on. As for the distribution of share capital, the registered shareholders, etc., all these can be found because they are part of the presentation that will be published in both Bulgarian and English. However, I will touch briefly upon the key events for the first half of 2016. In February, we established a new subsidiary of Sirma Solutions, which is called Sirma ICS, with a capital of 300,000 leva, and with the key aim for it to become the main player at the IT solutions for the insurance business market, initially in Bulgaria. But our ambitions do not have geographic boundaries. Instead of the domestic market alone, we intend to also penetrate the Balkan Peninsula and furthermore, the European market at large. In the month of March, we also established a subsidiary, Sirma Group in the United States, with a capital which is quite hefty, and our aim there is to concentrate marketing and sales potential also sales people, so that we could expand our profit and income from the US market, and also in order to realize our strategy for specialization on different business verticals. And in the month of May, we also founded a subsidiary of Sirma Group Holding, Sirma Medicals, with a capital of 100,000 level, which develops software for the monitoring of chronic medical conditions. The first product of the company shall be a system which is cloud-based and mobile-based to track, monitor of diabetes and to aid the treatment of all people who suffer from this disease. The key financial data for the first half of the year 2016 are as follows: 16 million revenue against 14,951 for last year. The EBITDA is 4 million, 352,000, and so on. All this data is also published, and each one of you has easy access to them. The next slide, we have shown the consolidated income by countries for all companies within the Sirma Group Holding. You can see for yourself that a bit over 50% is revenue in Bulgaria. However, the income in the United States of America is also rising by a significant percentage. As for the individual data for companies within the group, Sirma Group Holding, with income of 635,000 leva. This is the holding company, which is not a trade company, so this is merely formed as income from administrative taxes, which the subsidiaries are paying, so that they may be administratively serviced by the holding. Sirma Solutions has a growth of 4% in revenue. This is relatively humble as a growth for the first quarter, but here, the first half of the year, sorry. But here we must have in mind the fact that we didn't have too much revenue related to the public sector for the company. And this prevented us from having a better growth. However, to compensate that, we expect to have a very strong third quarter, which has to do with the implementation of a few large system integration projects. As for the revenue of Sirma Solutions, 7,668,000 against 7 million and roughly 300,000 for the first half of the year 2015. As for Sirma Solutions, I need to share a few other interesting facts for the first half of the year. We started developing very well the United States business that we started, and currently the revenue is susceptibly increased as compared to the same period from last year. We keep hiring not just technical staff such as project managers, but also people related to marketing and sales. The income by countries for Sirma Solutions, you can see that the largest ones are from Bulgaria. That is 5,800,000 leva. And this has to do with the implementation of the system integration project, and also revenue in the United States comes up to 1,329,000, which is again a perceptible growth, and I believe that this trend is going to even increase in the second half of the year. As for Engview Systems, and this is one of the companies of largest growth in revenue, 36% for the first half of the year alone, and Engview, they had a very successful participation in the large fair Drupa 2016. That is the largest fair for polygraphic and packaging industry in the world. There is a very strong increase in sales after the exhibition, the fair. Here I need to mention a very good and encouraging fact, that is that we launched the first CAD/CAM system, which is specialized for the packaging industry, which works on Mac computers, and as a matter of fact, it encourages and engenders great interest on the market. So I do hope that this will further boost the sales of the company in this strategic for the company direction, namely software for the packaging industry. We also define and we launch the development of a new product which shall be targeted at customers in the packaging production industry, which we hope is going to enjoy broad popularity, and also that we're going to occupy a large niche of the market with it. I suppose that we should also mention the fact that quite a few interesting things are happening in the other direction, that is the direction of strategic development, namely the production of measuring tools and instruments. Our product is starting to be sold better and better. I hope that we are going to maintain this trend. As a matter of fact, we managed to define, and we shall soon start the development. Actually, we also already have the prototype, but we should start the proper work on the production of a finished, completed product, another product which is, again, in the sphere of measurement. This is quite a unique for the world system, of huge marketing potential, and I do hope that we shall manage to use up this brilliant opportunity and the idea that we're currently developing. And the very financial data for Engview, 1.269 thousand against a much smaller figure for last year, same period of last year. As for countries, that is revenue by income by countries, it is a quite minimum. As you can see for yourself, it is 583,000, Austria, Japan, and so on. As for Daticum, Daticum is also developing in a very stable, consistent manner, 190% growth in income for the period. As for work on the project, for the Panegyuriste Hospital, we keep doing this. And we also struck partnership with one of the leading Microsoft users in Bulgaria. And we are going to render an innovative SaaS service to the business, and also partnership with the Deutsche Telekom business, so that we may render even better services to our customers. And we keep developing the cloud infrastructure within the company. And as a matter of fact, we are emphasizing on improvement of backup services that we offer, including a new location which is outside of the city of Sofia for the backup services. So the financial data for Daticum, 1,745,000 against again a lesser amount for last year. By countries, the data income is normally largest for Bulgaria, which is quite normal. For a center which is on the territory of Bulgaria, physically speaking. And of course, we also have branches in the United States and other countries where income is relatively smaller. As for Ontotex, the financial data is such because we managed to fulfill quite a few of our tasks and ambitions so that we could restructure the company in a successful manner. The issue with the companies which are really on the tip of the top in technology aspect. Indeed, the technology is state of the art, and this is speaking against the worldwide landscape. So the development of a technology couldn't be a purpose in itself. In other words, the company should understand very well where and how it's making its money. In the course of years and decades, we have done that indeed. But with the development of our technology and the increase of partnerships and sales, we already have a crystal clear idea of how to position Ontotext. So we did take some very important strategic solutions and decisions, which says that the key product of Ontotext is GraphDB, which after all is the leader in databases, and it is clear in what direction we intend to develop GraphDB and what are our competitive advantages as juxtaposed to some of our key rivals who have received more than $100 million in investment, and how to successfully manage to strive with this. It's interesting to note that apart from the strategic development of the product that we already have set for the years to come, we also started working on new partnerships with large companies that would provide data such as Thomson Reuters and Dun&Bradstreet. And by building a partnership with such companies and having the large advantage of our GraphDB being very easily integratable with open and related data, we hope that we should very strongly enter the US market, since we can offer a combination of technology and information so that we may truly have fantastic job done for our customers with our technology. I should give you an example of such symbiotic application of our technology, and this has to do with banks in the States with their initiative for customers with any loan approval and other operations. Even if they need to follow operations, a bank really needs to have the total, complete information about the participants in a transaction and so on. So in partnership with the sellers of data, with the open source data, which is increasingly detailed, we can indeed collect from many different sources, aggregate, process, and deliver to the financial institutions the best possible information on their customers. It is most interesting to note what's happening at Ontotech. I suppose that I already mentioned in the previous webinar that we launched a site that demonstrates the advantages of the technology by using the information databases of Panama Leaks. In what way they may combine and reach hidden information, unapparent one. Another interesting fact worth noting is that we launched a project through which we analyzed a huge massive of Twitter data prior to the Brexit. And practically through our technology, we managed to predict that Britain is going to vote for Brexit, and this is documented. Anyone who wishes to search information in web on today's Brexit will find info on this project of ours. Financially, indeed, we have a slight slowdown of income, which is 2,489,000 against 2,350,000. I hope that this year, though, Ontotech shall have some serious growth. However, the serious growth in income that will reflect the changes already embarked on shall come next year. As for revenue income by countries, it is quite visible that we still have dominant Great Britain, 1,276,000. From the States, it is 1,043,000 and 417 from Austria, and so on. In the United States of America, the growth in revenue as compared to the comparable period of last year is 526,000 against 474,000 level. Sirma ITT. Now, Sirma ITT was renamed this year into Sirma Enterprise Systems, rather. And through this name, we need to enter the American market. I may mention some of the things that have happened until this moment. We managed to launch successfully Courseivation Space, which is the large software system that we developed for the Metropolitan Museum in New York and the worldwide gallery network in the United States. And in this niche, we expect, we have launched the project. Of course, it was financed by Mellon Foundation and the National Gallery, but the very operation of this system is going to bring in the future income to Sirma ICS. And furthermore, the next system that we're about to develop is a system that allows restorers working on different projects in various museums throughout the US to exchange information, also to work together, and so on, to exchange know-how, to swap their expertise. The next system of this sort that we are going to launch is for curators of museums. If we manage to build the second system and it is launched successfully, Sirma ICS is going to become one of the largest players on this specific market, the galleries, museum, art market. Of course, it is not overly large, but as a matter of fact, it is quite a serious market where quite a few million are stored, and it is good for us to be the ones to position ourselves successfully to grab it. We should keep developing, and as we have previously, the Sirma Enterprise Platform. This is a platform that allows to very quickly build business applications in different spheres, be it in the sphere of production or for museums or financial institutions, etc. The platform, when it is completed, shall allow in a fortnight to truly have a working decision for a respective and very new for us niche on the market here. I need to remark that this platform once again uses the onto-text technology GraphDB, which allows for a truly flexible description of objects and players in a given sphere of IT. The financial results for Sirma Enterprise Systems are as follows: 881,000 as compared to 384,000 for last year. As for the countries, the largest income comes from the United States, and it has to do with the large projects which were implemented there. As for Sirma Business Consulting, 17.4% growth. Here, the key events are that we managed to complete the certification of FlexCube 12, which is the latest version of FlexCube, and barely a few companies in the world are certified and can render services in this sphere. FlexCube is the most sold banking system in the world. We quite successfully managed to complete a few projects in Bulgaria, and we also launched a large project for a key Bulgarian bank. We are also launching a new release of our product for electronic banking. We also completed a few more certifications under ISO 2015 and 217,000. We are actively hiring people, and our personnel has increased by 12%, and we are also working on the opportunity to acquire quite a few interesting, that is prospective, working companies that would complement our portfolio from Romania and Albania. Sirma Business Consulting has managed to achieve 1,454,000 as compared to a lower figure for last year. Sirma USA, that is the marketing company for Sirma Solutions. I already mentioned that the staff of the company is increasing, and we managed to complete quite a few important tasks while working with a American marketing agency, and we are currently commencing new campaigns so that we may generate new leads. As a matter of fact, in our pipeline, we have a truly significant quantity of leads, which, if we manage to close successfully until the end of this year, will score a huge growth of our United States business. And we also have 40% growth of new projects in the US. And the financial data is 1,732,000 against 700,000 plus for last year. These were the key points, the key data for the first half of this year, 2016. And once again, I need to underline the fact that we are expecting a much stronger second half of the year. The problem with the first half was that indeed we did not score as well as we wished, but this was due to the practically full lack of business in the public sector, simply because it's not that we did not manage to win certain tenders, but nothing happened during the first half of the year. Well, currently we are seeing this activization in the government and public institutions. They are starting to launch new tenders for various information systems, so I do hope that we shall manage to win some of these and to have the normal size of the expected business in this sphere. Sirma, as you are well aware, was created in the year 1992. And for this period of time, we have truly managed to do things quite well. Yet sometimes they were quite chaotic. Sometimes we would rush into the production or development of business ideas simply because it was very interesting to us. At the same time, of course, and this time has passed with the maturing of our company. But in any case, for the past 24 years of our life, we have managed to develop a huge number of various technologies, software, products, modules, instruments, and so on. So before us, we had a serious challenge to hold the bow quiet for a while so that we could try to define all this technology that we have accumulated, how to most fully and wisely combine, structure, and streamline so that we could really have some strong business specializations and lines. And as a matter of fact, each action that we are going to embark on from this moment on, be it to acquire a new company or to start a new product, it should be done in harmony with the strategic aims of Sirma and with the key verticals along which it has happened for us to work. I suppose that this is not too well to speak so bluntly, but as a matter of fact, this is the truth and nothing but the truth. We've done various things, but there comes a moment when we ascertained the fact and define precisely that even without wishing to focus on a few key verticals, at this moment we are already focused on this indeed, and the challenge was to shape marketing-wise and make out of the different products of various companies within the group and different technologies very strong solutions so that we could keep going full speed along these verticals that we have adopted. And in our spheres rather, of specialization, we can indeed have a very broad spectrum of state-of-the-art technological solutions, know-how, and innovations, because companies worldwide, and I'm not talking of software companies, any company throughout the world has a challenge that it has picked, that is how to embark and enter actively the new information era, because changes are very swift, mind-boggling, and whichever companies lag behind the technological development shall not be victorious. That's why we mean to become to our customers a very reliable partner so that we could provide a broad spectrum, wide array solutions for their spheres of work, for their industry, so that we could really provide the best tip of the top and cream of the crop so that they could truly develop their business well. Which are the key strategic verticals along which, as already mentioned, we have embarked simply because they happened. We do have them, though. They are set and we are very strong along them. The first such vertical is fintech with technologies from financial institutions. We are very strong and we have quite a few products and solutions for for the manufacturing and utility companies, the companies that produce, and the companies for utility services. Also, in terms of cultural heritage and media, healthcare, the public sector, and of course, we have certain solutions that would not fall strictly within a certain realm, but instead would be cross industries, all our business verticals, because they provide added value in any industry at all. As for fintech, there we are developing banking solutions. We have our own banking products. We implement many different projects which are related to software services for banks. As for the insurance companies, there we also have insurance solutions. We have financial IT systems. We have systems for fraud detection and prevention, and so on. In the sphere of banking systems, we are probably some of the strongest players in Bulgaria, and I think that the other company that we are competitive is Bank Service. Bank Service, you know, is the owner of banks, but we have lots of our own products, lots of know-how, and apart from banks in Bulgaria, we are also collaborating with banks around the Balkan Peninsula. We are very strong, and we have quite a few customers on the Caribbean basin. And we are currently trying to develop a strategy so that we could also enter the US market. In the same way, we are positioned in terms of insurance brokers and companies. Yes, indeed. We are mostly in the insurance broker segment. That's where we are practically holding the monopoly. However, we are increasingly actively working with insurance companies so that we may provide our services and goods, products. And we have serious ambitions to be increasingly stronger in this sphere also. Technology, such as the Untitled technology, combined with our knowledge and expertise in the sphere of banking and financial institutions, gives us a unique opportunity to reach very strong solutions in the fraud detection sphere. The next vertical that we occupy quite successfully is software for manufacturing and utility companies. I did mention that Ingview have a very strong product, the CAD/CAM for the packaging industry. We are developing other products that would complement the portfolio of Sirma, and we could turn into one of the key players in this niche globally. We practically hold a very serious market share. That is, we're the second largest share in the world. However, the ones that are top are very, very strong indeed. And with the new products and solutions that we have almost developed already, need to enter this market even more strongly so that we may start with the states where our competitor is an American company, and we shall try to bite off a piece of their market. I told you already that we are also developing very interesting measuring products. We have solutions which are very suitable business solutions in the sphere of discrete production, such as quality control systems, engineering, documentation, maintenance, and some other vertical products. We also have quite a few offers, and we realize various types of services also in the communal companies, again, in the utility sphere. In the sphere of cultural heritage and media, I already did touch upon this subject about the systems of Sirma Enterprise Systems, which are meant for museums. However, onto text. are also developing quite a few very strong solutions for integration of linked data for archives, libraries, and museums. Maybe the strongest position of Ontotext is on the semantic technologies for the publishing industry. There we have outstanding clients such as BBC, Euromoney, CNN, and the like. The next vertical along which we are increasingly developing our products and business, and we practically already have scored quite a few successful solutions, is healthcare. Now, healthcare and information, I suppose we should add information because we have very strong and effective products working for pharmaceutical companies as well. We have built systems for the management of hospitals. I also mentioned the Panagurishte Hospital in Bulgaria. We are also developing a startup software for chronic disease management, and we have experience in the US with patient record management. So in this sphere, I hope and believe that we shall start to occupy a leading position very quickly indeed. So swiftly, we should turn into one of the key players on the world market. As for the public sector, by tradition, it is a vertical along which we are working anyway. We have implemented so many products for system integration, software development. We have experience with the public open and linked data, and this is not only for Bulgaria, but we have also worked in the public sector in the USA and Great Britain. In the Netherlands, we have a huge project which is related to their electronic cadastre, and in the form of ITT, this is practically the basis, the foundation to develop quite a few different products in the public sector, which have to do with the rendition, or rather the provision of electronic services. There are solutions which are applicable not only, also products, which are applicable not only in a single industry, the multi-industry or cross-industry solutions such as the workforce management products or workflow management too. This is the system for loyalty management, the Works company. Business software, the platform, which again is developed by Sirma Enterprise, and it allows for a very quick build-up of enterprise systems. We have rich experience, mostly in the US. That's where we're realizing projects which have to do with cybersecurity, DevOps, and cloud services. What are the challenges which we are facing towards current date? Because we have a stronger and more distinct specialization, increasingly so. So the challenges I already mentioned, the challenges are to put together the various products and technologies of the different companies in viable solutions. So this is not that simple because a product has been developed by a given company within the group. Another technology is the ownership of another company. On the other hand, though, if we manage to get on the well-developed market, for instance, the United States, and we say, okay, we can upload onto text product, but there is a Sirma Enterprise System product also. So indeed, with the strong structure that we have, we would confuse our clients. That's why on the American market, we are simply under the brand of Sirma. We have the vertical solutions. We have solutions in the sphere of your industry for the respective customer, that is. And from that point on, it is our business how we shall combine and join this technology. However, this is lots of work indeed, and this must be performed successfully so that we may describe and sell successfully and market successfully these products in our key business verticals. Respectively, we have to reorganize the marketing and sales within the entire group. This is exactly such a case where we have to orient along the various industries our marketing and sales. It's quite normal for a seller to know a single industry. We couldn't possibly have a salesperson who is selling simultaneously in the pharmaceutical industry, in the retail industry, government sector, etc., etc. So we need to streamline our work in a specialized way so that we can have our marketing and sales personnel oriented towards the key verticals that we occupy. Of course, we also need to focus our R&D within the group to achieve these common strategic solutions that would contribute to our further strength and development. If we would look at what products, technologies, and solutions we may provide to business in the various industries, it turns out that we have a comparable capacity of what we can offer to giants such as IBM, Microsoft, Oracle, Accenture, and it is very difficult indeed for a small company such as ours, globally speaking, small, to manage to overcome these giants. Our advantage, though, is that we are highly technological, that we are highly flexible, and we must stay such so that we may truly manage to build an increasingly effective mechanism for marketing and sales. What we have done until present date, we have defined the key strategic business verticals that we currently occupy and we further develop. We have started reorganizing the sales and marketing. We have established a new office in New York, and the new salespersons in New York should be specialized by industries, the strategic industries that we work on. And of course, our entire research and development business is already focused on the strategic solutions for our truly key and strategic spheres. As for the second half of 2016, we need to launch the new corporate site of Sirma Group that will reflect these particular changes that we have already accomplished, and the specialization. As for the issue of reorganizing the sales and marketing, we are introducing sales course in most companies. In other words, all sales shall be more effective, and all salespersons will also be able to cross-sell across companies. And we should also have a better visibility on the pipeline, the expected results for future periods of time. The first vertical sales should happen in the States and in Bulgaria. By vertical sales, I mean the new solutions that we have already organized and initiated with a few technologies from a few separate companies, and we should already have key industrial solutions ready for sale. So this is what I had to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, for the financial results in the first half of 2016. Things that have to do with the business specialization. things that we have already accomplished and are yet to accomplish. And of course, if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer. Just to mention that we truly are keeping by our plan, and I believe that in the year 2016 we'll successfully achieve all targets and aims that we have set and that we have communicated to all of you. Questions? The first questions that we have here, they are associated with your accomplishments and targets and aims. Just a moment, please, if you would bear with me a moment. Prior to reading the question, I need to tell you that your questions can also be sent by email ir@sirma.com or by Sirma IR, which is the Skype. The ones that we already have are the following. Will you manage to realize the forecasts that you have previously mentioned, 25% growth of income, 30% growth of EBITDA, and double net profit? We're working on this so that we may manage this. As I told you, the third and fourth quarter shall be quite strong. These are our reasonable expectations. The only thing that surprised us was the public sector, the government sector. We need to catch up there. If they keep being so inactive, that is the government being so inactive, I mean the state badly needs IT. We are still in the Stone Age. And I wonder why no one realizes this and why are they so slow with the IT projects that are badly needed by the government and by the state in principle. The next questions are associated with what you said about the third quarter being expectedly strong. You said there are quite a few projects for system integration. Well, are they abroad or in Bulgaria, along which verticals? And there is another question too, but maybe you should first answer this question, please. These projects are mostly in Bulgaria, and they have to do with business customers in the financial industry, in the production sphere. In other words, these are large projects in Bulgaria. And the next project is again for Sirma Solutions. What are the projects that you have in the States by verticals, and the same thing for Ontotext? Why is Ontotext growing, and what are the projects that it currently realizes there? Currently, in the United States, probably the largest project that we are implementing is the sphere of cybersecurity. We have projects in the sphere of production. We have projects for technological startups. Also, the new leads. Simply there is, for instance, a company that's a large call center. There we have projects, and I think that we shall have a couple of other large-scale projects for the same company. We have DevOps projects. We have projects related to building cloud systems, this type of thing. So this is for both companies or what? For Ontotext, we currently have in the States. I don't know precisely what type of companies there are, but there are some public companies, this is for sure. I mean, there was a large-scale project with a a publishing house for scientific literature. And also, I think, look, I really cannot tell you certainly, but I think there are a couple of larger projects for public companies. In GB, we also have continuing projects for the BBC. As I told you, in the Netherlands, we have a large-scale project for their e-cadaster. That is to relate their cadastral maps to the open source data Geopedia, I think. Quite a few interesting projects. Again, in the niches that Ontotext are occupying most, publishing and public sector to some extent, and pharma. The next question is again related to Ontotext, or rather Nevek. With the IPO last year, they were planning to get out of their investment in 1 year's time. Is there development in this respect? We still do not score development there. However, we already have quite a fruitful dialogue with Neveg. When we reach a certain decision, of course, I shall immediately inform our stakeholders and shareholders. And there is yet another question. When do you expect, and do you do anything for Sirma entering SOFIX? Now, as far as I know, we are meeting all requirements, practically all, so that we may enter SOFIX apart from the number of shareholders. This is something that is beyond our control. It depends on the exchange. And investors, of course. Yes, we shall be happy to be part of it, definitely. One day. Well, there are no other questions. So I should just remind that if there are other questions, they may be emailed, and I'm quite certain that our colleagues from Sirma are going to respond them in a timely manner and in detail too. Of course, you may always turn to us so that we may cooperate with the communication. I would like to thank you for your time, and once again invite the company for this already traditional communication. You have my compliments, sir. I also thank you, everyone, for listening to me. Have a nice evening.